Good morning. Jeffrey Oreo here. Hope you're all having a great day. And I have today a reading from that other fantasy story that's the with the which couples from the one yesterday. It's those are the major parts, two most major parts that I'm going to try and all dovetail together. This one tentative title is The Gleaning of Dorman. No town is truly sleepy, nor is any tavern average, or neither would exist for an exceptionally long time. The Red Ale Tavern in Dharma is one. In a way, it's alive. Its owner Zorl is its heart, a tavern that caters to its regular visitors and welcomes all travelers. It enjoys laughter and song with old friends and new revelers alike. Wednesday evening, the sun's orange red rays pass through the gaps in the shutters, giving way to the late summer evening. More patrons than normal had filled the inn. The caravan park nearby was close to full, unusual for this time of the year, as the last caravans were due to arrive for about 90 days. Zorl, the proprietor, smiled and mentally tallied his profits. He had sold 7 barrels of red ale in 2 days. Only 3 coffers of scorpions are left, and the rest of his supplies are about 60% full. The regulars, Darzak, a friendly half orc who could drink a small sea. Thomas was Tharma's minstrel. He was surprised that he hadn't lost his voice yet. The town apothecary, Lydia, had turned a tidy coin, selling her salves, potions, and tinctures. Two from last night, Latherna, a dwarven warrior, and Sandra, a tea master, are from the caravan park. Kalia, her ladies and gentlemen entertainers, were sore but well paid. That well dressed merchant eating at the bar, a noble for sure, and there are 3 other travelers he saw for the first time tonight. His profits will be high, and his reputation will spread. After several minutes of bad dancing and equally bad singing, Darzak almost fell while trying to sit in his bar stool. Zorl helped him to stand up. Darzak, you've had enough to drink. Go sleep it off, said Zorl. No, I haven't, Zorl. I can outdrink anyone here, be they rock eater, human, or half breed bastard like me. Besides, they like me tonight. I have made you much silver being you're drunk. That's true, but it cost me this half that in broken furniture and earned you many nights of hospitality in the Tharma Constabulary Merchants' Quarters jail. Let me sit and have another mug of red ale. I guess one more won't hurt. Then off to your bed in the stalls. Thank you, Zorro. As he sat on the stool, Zorro gave him a mug of red ale. He lifted it to his lips, taking a couple of large gulps, then slammed his mug on the counter, splashing its contents. Ah, the best drink in the world, he exclaimed. The well-dressed merchant sitting next to him turned to look, saying, Oh, it's Darzak, the town fool. Darzak stood and put his face a few inches from the man's face and tapped his large, dirty finger on the merchant's chest. Fool! Who are you to call Darzak, defender of the bridge, and slayer of the vampire calls that a fool? From what I've heard, the bridge was the one over Shit's Creek into which you've fallen, and Kalzath was nothing more than a large bat. So before you brag, keep your red ale from flavoring my grilled scorpions. Darzak roared with anger and spread his arms wide. He'd forgotten to let go of his mug and tossed all the contents over Latherna. Mighty Darzak, I'll show you all my strength, as he turned to show everyone in the tavern. Darzak the fool you are, Darzak the drunk you are, and Darzak of the black eyes you'll soon have. She charged, her body slamming into him, knocking him into the stool the merchant had recently left. It turned into kindling, and they both went tumbling on the floor. The tavern's patrons jumped out of the way, yelling and cheering. The patrons were offering and accepting bets as Zorro quickly left the tavern. The Thurna gave Darzak a headbutt, missing his nose only because he was giving her the same. Their heads smashed together in a resounding knock. Lazurna slipped off onto the floor. I have to keep him off his feet. She spun on her shoulder, tripping Darzak as he stood, but he managed to catch the counter and still stand. She was on him quickly and landed a punch in his gut. Ouch! That hurt! as the lady punched me. He grabbed her arm with both his hands and whipped her around into another chair, which broke and made a nice divot on the counter. Her head almost struck the metal counter ridge. As a lady, you would know, she insulted him back, barely dodging his punch. His counter, her counter punch landed on his face, catching him on the outside of his left eye. He backed up as he stood, his hands over his face. I got him now. Now to finish it. She didn't expect the speed of Darzak's jab. It was like lightning and landed on her left eye. She stopped in her tracks and felt strong arms snake around her. You're mine, little one. Let's see if you can fly. He started to spin. His hand slipped down and latched on. Another two twirls and he let go. The Thurna sailed about 10 feet and landed on a table, smashing it and two chairs. That hurt, Darzak. She stood and assumed a boxing stance. Now you're talking my language. Darzak came to her. When she reached down, grabbing a table leg and swung it. His red ale addled brain knew what was happening, but he couldn't think fast enough to stop. The improvised club connected with the side of his head, and Darzak was out of it. His momentum carried it outside where he fell into the gutter. It was all over when Lieutenant Jenkins and six of the town militia arrived with Zorro. Zorro had a black eye and was sitting in the gutter. Okay, you two. The lieutenant pointed to a dwarf and a human who came with him. Take Darzak to the merchant's hostel, our lovely five-star facility. In the morning, let Judge Thorol know that Darzak is here. The merchant spoke up. Lieutenant, if the damages were paid for, would there be any reason to haul him before a judge? Hmm. That would be up to Zorro and Latherna. What do you say, Zorro? You okay if the damages are paid for? Maybe. He cast a glance at the merchant. How rich is he? I'll add, say, 10 Marathian gold thrones to cover for the inconvenience. Marathian thrones? That's empire coin from the other side of the continent. I'm okay with that, Jenkins. What about the dwarf, Latherna? She stepped forward from the crowd that had gathered outside. I'll be okay for 10 Marathian thrones. The merchant turned to Zorro. 20 thrones, and how much more for the damages? I'll go inside and see what's broken and lost. Zorro went inside the tavern for close to half an hour. He had a light smile upon his face when he returned. The damage isn't as bad as it could have been. 3 bar stools, 2 tables, and chairs. The counter needs repair. All told, 100 thrones. Interesting the value you see in Darzak, Zorro. The stranger took a purse from his belt and tossed it at him. There are 100 gold thrones in that purse. I'll have the other 20 brought here within an hour. Will that be acceptable? He looked at the merchant. Over 2 fire logs tall, wearing a full-length Red Hood cloak, trimmed in black. He had green gloves and leather armor. The top of his staff was visible over his shoulder, the bottom by his thigh. A pair of daggers at his side. There was a dog that looked like a husky, but with light red fur. You were inside when the fight started. You might be needed as a witness. What is your name, good sir? I'm Dorman, a traveler, and indeed I saw a fight. If that sum is enough, please have Darzak sleep it off in jail. However, since the gold offered as settlement for the claim was accepted, I don't think I'll be a witness as there are no charges. I'll be around in the morning. Thank you and enjoy.